the San Antonio Zoo. Today we are doing an awesome science experiment with Science with Sarah, all about sharks. We're with the lionfish of the Will Smith Zoo School, and we say, good morning, San Antonio! Stick around for a fun experiment. Woo!
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Look, Mom, I'm on TV.
Aww.
Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, July 12th.
Thanks for joining us. I was talking to Sarah earlier. So this is a group of 5 and 6 years old, and they're very cute, and she has a lot of fun things in store for them, so I'm excited to see these hits.
They're at that great age.
Yes.
A lot of fun, especially during the summer. That's coming up. All right, so we know the summer heat is here to stay for a while. It is dangerous, and today is one of those days when you walked outside and the humidity just kind of
Already,
wow.
yeah, and it's not even officially 9 a.m. yet.
No, we didn't even drop below 80 degrees this morning. Not a good start, but you saw Sarah and the kiddos there. They're underneath the tree where you got to be. You got to find the shade today with temperatures like this. Let me show you the numbers. What we're thinking this afternoon, 103 here in San Antonio, but the heat index up around 109. 110 is what it will feel like in Corpus Christi. This is around 5 o'clock today, but the entire state of Texas is going to be dealing with some pretty serious heat. Excessive heat warnings stretch from San Antonio, Corpus Christi to Houston up to Dallas, Oklahoma City. Basically, the whole state minus a small portion of the panhandle is under a heat advisory or an excessive heat warning today. And as you look at our KSAT 12-hour forecast, by, say, 5 o'clock, we're looking at 104, as we said, heat index 109. And the heat index stays above 100 all the way into the evening hours, even around 9 o'clock. We could still see a heat index close to 103. So yeah, you got to take some precautions today if you plan to spend a lot of time outside. What we're going to do here in a little bit is put it into some historical perspective for you, because this year has been unusual in the sense those heat index values have been very high. More on that in a bit, but we go over to Stephen now and check in on the commute, which I hope is winding down.
Just a bit, Justin. Unfortunately, we have a stalled vehicle here at 35 southbound near AT&T Parkway. Get a quick look at that because we do have TxDOT Hero trucks out on the scene with a lane that is blocked. Looks like that could be the far left lane there, but traffic's moving pretty slowly through that area, and you can see how tight it is. So just make sure to watch out for those crews that are just investigating the scene and working to help that driver out. But really, that's the only issue I've spotted that is causing a bit of a slowdown. Aside from that, a lot of the active construction, which we can always expect to take place in our area. But earlier, our morning started off a bit rocky with a few issues reported out on roadways. Things have quieted down, but really the only problem spot I'm seeing right now, guys, is here at 35 southbound near AT&T Parkway. We'll watch this area closely, but as a friendly reminder, check those vehicles before you get your commute rolling, and we'll have more updates for you. If anything pops up, I'll be sure to let you know. Guys.
Stephen, thank you.
Here's today's 9 at 9.
A year after U.S. inflation hit a 40-year high of 9.1%, it has fallen by about 2/3, but bringing down annual consumer prices the rest of the way to the more normal 2% level sought by federal policymakers is expected to be a tougher task.
Today is the final day of the NATO summit, and crucial bilateral talks are set for President Biden and Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky. The meeting comes after Biden pushed back against Ukraine joining the military alliance while at war with Russia, and as Zelensky slams NATO's so-called uncertainty about Kyiv's path to membership.
PGA Tour officials faced tough questions on Capitol Hill yesterday over the controversial deal with Saudi-backed Live Golf. Also in attendance at the hearing were families of 9/11 victims who say the partnership is a betrayal. PGA officials say the union is a matter of survival and that if the deal is finalized, they will retain control over operations and players won't be penalized for criticizing Saudi Arabia.
Vermont remains under a state of emergency, and the downtown of its capital was closed after more than 5 inches of record-setting rain fell there on Monday. Vermont Governor Phil Scott called the storm system historic and catastrophic. Vermont is among the states experiencing what weather forecasters call a 1-in-1,000-year rain event.
Norovirus outbreaks are surging on cruise ships. The CDC says there have been 13 outbreaks of norovirus on cruise ships so far this year, the highest number recorded since 2012. The exact cause of this year's uptick in cruise-related cases remains unclear, but experts believe that soaring demand for cruises and record numbers of passengers might be behind it.
Bank of America is accused of double dipping on fees, withholding credit card rewards, and opening fake accounts. They have now been ordered to pay more than $100 million to customers and $90 million in penalties. Some of the allegations are reminiscent of the Wells Fargo scandal that involved millions of bank accounts being opened without customer authorization.
Google is facing a potential class action lawsuit for allegedly scraping personal data from millions of users without their permission. The lawsuit points to the tech giant's privacy policy that says it can use publicly accessible information to train its AI models.
Trouble at CVS Pharmacy has slowed down prescriptions this week. The company will only say that its systems experienced an unexpected slowdown, affecting some electronic prescriptions and billing, but that its systems are back online now.
Sea ice levels in the Antarctic hit a record low for the month of June. According to the World Meteorological Organization, the levels were 17% below average this year, breaking the previous June record by a large margin. Experts say this is a worrying trend caused by climate change, and scientists are warning of even more marine heat waves with the return of El Nino. And that's today's 9 at 9.
And today marks 1 year since the release of the first set of breathtaking images from the James Webb Space Telescope, NASA's largest and most powerful space telescope that's already revolutionizing astronomy.
Here to celebrate these incredible discoveries and talk about what's next is NASA's interim director of the Space Telescope Science Institute, Nancy Levinson. Good morning, Nancy.
Good morning. Happy to be here and share this with you.
Yes, thanks for being here. Now, we understand a new image from Webb has been released. Can you tell us about what we're seeing?
Sure. What we're looking at here is a stellar nursery, a place where new stars are forming. This is actually the closest place to us that happens, about 400 light years away. So we see some of those new stars lighting up the material around them in the red, sending out jets of material. Or in some cases, though, they're so deeply buried in the cocoons where they're born, it looks dark. Even with the power of Webb, we don't get through.
These images are so amazing. They almost look like CGI renderings, but they're real. They're out there. All right. So, Nancy, how does Webb work with other telescopes to give us a more complete view of the universe?
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's a more complete view because Webb specializes in infrared light. We don't see that with our eyes, but we sometimes feel it as heat radiation. Whereas the Hubble Space Telescope does observe the visible that we see with our eyes as well as the ultraviolet. So here are a couple of examples of looking at the same thing with Hubble on the left and Webb on the right, and we get that more complete view, which helps us understand better about our own universe.
Speaking of those findings, what are some of your favorite findings so far?
Yes, well, one of the things I love to study is galaxies. So galaxies have hundreds of billions of stars in them, and we're starting to see some of the very first galaxies in the universe. And we're discovering that they formed very quickly after the Big Bang and got very large very quickly. And so that's something we need to understand better, and we'll continue to make measurements with Webb and other telescopes for that.
Nancy, what are you looking forward to most in regards to learning with Webb?
Yeah, we've already got the next year of science planned, but one of the things that's so exciting is observations of exoplanets, that is, planets around stars outside of our own solar system. And so we can really understand the atmospheres of these planets, what they're made of, whether they're cloudy or hazy. And so that's a really growing field where we're learning a lot about our universe. And Webb is just a terrific way to study these objects.
And where can people at home go to keep up with the Webb Space Telescope?
Absolutely. So please check out the website, jwst.nasa.gov, or on social media at NASA Webb. We have new discoveries and new images all the time, and they're there for the public to enjoy and use and learn from.
Oh, it's exciting stuff. Nancy, thanks for joining us this morning here in San Antonio. Nancy Levinson, Interim Director of the Space Telescope Science Institute. Have a good rest of the week.
Terrific. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Time now 9:07, 84 degrees.
And here's a look at what's coming up next.
Good morning, I'm Sarah Costa. We are at the Amazon Von Army delivery station for Amazon Prime Days, and we're going to be telling you what some of the hottest items are and where you can save the most coming up.
And taking a look out there at the San Antonio Zoo, this is where our Sarah Spivey and David Sears will be holding their next experiment. And a very good group out there. They're 5 and 6 years old. They're there with the summer camp, and they're going to be learning about sharks coming up.
Welcome back. Just about 9:12. Amazon Prime Day originally started back in July of 2015 as a summer savings event to celebrate Amazon's birthday. Now it's one of the most anticipated online shopping days of the year.
Our Sarah Costa is at the Amazon delivery station in Von Army with some of the hottest items to save on today.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, we are live at the delivery center in Von Ormy. They process about 50,000 packages on average daily, but it is Prime Day, so it's the Super Bowl. They're processing around 80,000 packages. Just look at all those packages coming down this. Oh, they come down really fast, don't they? But hey, today is also the day that you're going to want to be shopping for those deals. I'm here with Kara. Okay, I was overwhelmed when I'm like, what do I need to be looking for? So what do customers need to be looking out for these deals?
I would say one of my best tips is just to keep checking throughout the day. If there's something you've had your eye on for a while, maybe it's been sitting in your cart, refresh to see, because deals are being added every 30 minutes.
The biggest deals, some of those Amazon tech products, like what?
Our Echo Pop, our Echo Show, a lot of our Amazon tech devices are in that 30 to 40% range, but sometimes we'll go up to 75% off.
I'm looking at a Fire TV.
Yes.
Good deal there?
Definitely a good deal, one to check out during Prime.
I saw that some of the Echoes originally around $40-ish, today going for $18.
Yes, that's right. A really good discount. If it's something you like to have in your house or give as a gift, during Prime is the time to get those.
Good time for school supplies. What about headphones for kids?
A lot of great deals on headphones. Our Bose brand headphones are up to 40% off, which is a really quality brand for a great price.
Thank you so much, Kara. And shoppers, you have until midnight to get those deals. From Von Ormy, I'm Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News.
Speaking of Prime Day and deals, this is also a time where people are targeted by scammers.
And Texas is at the top of the list for Amazon Prime Day scams, according to a global cybersecurity company.
One of the ways scammers target shoppers is through text messages telling people they need to log into their Amazon account, and others through emails offering special discounts.
To be sure that you are not a victim of a scam this Prime Day, carefully look at the words on the screen.
Usually when you roll your mouse over there, it'll show you the email address. 9 times out of 10, it's some made-up Gmail that has nothing to do with Amazon. They'll work the same way. If you roll your mouse over, it'll show you where it's actually going.
One more tip: when checking for scams, check for grammatical errors as red flags when making a purchase.
Outside with live cam, already 84 degrees. And if you factor in that humidity, it is beyond dangerous out there in the late afternoon hours.
It was brutal yesterday. We had a heat index jump over 110 here in San Antonio. And I've been talking about through the morning that's kind of been the difference this year. Last year was really hot in the summer. It was, but we didn't have the humidity. This year we do. So it's a combination of heat and humidity. The numbers are not great. Across the area yesterday, we had heat indices up above 115 in New Braunfels. Look where we topped out yesterday for that feels like number 117, both Cotulla and New Braunfels. Eagle Pass, Hondo, Carrizo Springs, San Antonio, you get the idea. Those numbers are drifting into that danger territory. And these are the stats we were able to kind of dig out yesterday as far as number of days where we've had a heat index of 105 plus. We've had 17 this year. That is enough to put us into second place. 1948, we had 24 days where the heat index was 105 plus. And we still have a lot of summer left, but we're already in second place. And there's a decent chance we're right up there with 1948 here soon, the way the forecast looks. 109 is the forecast heat index today. Some places will be above 110. I think Somerset, Divine, Pearsall, Carrizo Springs, places where that heat index is going to jump above that number. And we have excessive heat warnings in effect for a large portion of the area. Still some clouds at this moment, 84 degrees. We've got a dew point of 74. Heat index is already 91. and we're not even at 10 o'clock yet. KSAT 12-hour forecast, 99 at 2 o'clock. We top out at 104 with that heat index of 109, but we still carry a heat index above 100 all the way into the evening hours. It's going to take until the sun goes down to really get any relief, and even then, it's not a lot. It is another CPS Energy yellow day. We got to try to conserve at least a little bit between 3 and 8 p.m. With the way things are going, and temperatures are trending in the wrong direction. Tropical update very quickly. Nothing in the Atlantic that would give us any relief. We look this time of year for some tropical storms, tropical waves to maybe bring in some moisture. Nothing in the Atlantic that gives us really any hope here. I think as the season wears on, we'll start to see some activity, but nothing right now. There is a system out in the Pacific. This is newly formed tropical storm Calvin. Winds are at 45 miles per hour, gusting to 60. It's moving west at 60 miles per hour and away from Mexico and really away from any landmass. So it's not going to have any real impacts here, other than it will be a Category 1 hurricane out there in the shipping lanes with winds at 85 miles per hour by the weekend. So looking over Texas here, we've got the excessive heat warnings that we mentioned, and really most of the state is blanketed underneath at least a heat warning or a heat advisory because temperatures will be so very warm this afternoon. And it's not just us. High pressure, it's a strong ridge of high pressure, is anchored over the desert southwest. So it's bringing a lot of heat to Texas, but also to places like Phoenix, 109, the forecast site today, Death Valley, up around 115, maybe even a little higher than that. And going forward, temperatures there could jump over 120, if you can believe that. Not much rain here either underneath that ridge. We've got a little bit of shower activity in parts of southeastern Arizona. Otherwise, all the activity is way to the north. So Iowa, some big storms there moving through Des Moines at this hour. And then we've got a few showers and storms near Shreveport, Louisiana, but nothing that will affect us here, all because of this thing, the ridge of high pressure, which does move west a little bit over the weekend, but it comes right back towards Texas by next week. And temperatures may actually jump up a little bit more by the middle part of next week, unfortunately, because there is a ton of triple digits on this 7-day forecast. And those overnight lows aren't great either. We're barely dropping below 80 here. And that just, there's no relief, not until we get into the fall, it looks like at this point.
Wow. As soon as I woke up this morning, a heat advisory, a dangerous heat.
Excessive heat warning, came out, and we're reaching that threshold because of that heat index.
All right, well, be careful. Thank you, Justin.
Time now 9:18, 84 degrees.
And still to come in the next half hour, we're going to have a recap of the Spurs Summer League game last night against the Wizards. The Spurs back on the winning side, and we're going to tell you who had a good game.
And outside right now at the San Antonio Zoo, David and Sarah are warming up for today's Science with Sarah. It's going to be another fun one. No, drink that.
No.
Do not drink that, David. We'll
He's
be right
laughing.
back.
A quick check of the roads with TransSky, looking over at Loop 410 at Babcock Road, where things are being held out a little bit there. Some lanes, look like one lane is blocked because of that crash there for now, but some lanes are open, so it's moving but slowly at this hour. Looks like it built up quite a bit.
It has in a very short amount of time. This is eastbound 410 at Babcock. It's listed as just a minor accident. It looks like one of those hero trucks is out there to help divert traffic, but the good news is it looks like a flatbed wrecker is also out there right now. Well, this morning, Sarah Spivey and her assistant, David Sears, are out at the San Antonio Zoo for a special summer edition of Science with Sarah.
And since they're at the zoo, they have to do an animal-themed experiment. So, Sarah, tell us about today's experiment and your special guest.
Yes, we are doing an experiment all about sharks. Did you know that sharks can float in water because their oil...
With his teeth, dear.
Are you talking about baby shark? Is that what
no,
you're
no. I'm over the baby shark.
There we go. So we're doing an experiment because sharks have oil in their liver. That's actually how they float. So what you're going to need...
Hold on.
What you're going to need for the experiment...
Near the ocean. I want to
be we got to get our floaties on, right?
Safety first.
Safety first, David. Get your floaty on. There he goes. Now he's going to float. Okay, so you're going to need balloons. You're going to fill one balloon with oil. You're going to fill one balloon with dish soap using a funnel. And then you're going to draw on them, make a little shark face, and see what happens as far as that goes. So I'm going to turn your back.
Okay.
I'm going to fill one of these with oil.
All right.
This is soap. And then, David, you have to guess what it is. It takes a long time for me to do this. Give me a second here.
All right.
So one of these is going to sink, and I've actually got one already done here. This one is... Here's that one.
Okay.
Okay. And then you're going to use another one, and you're going to fill it with oil, okay? Turn your back. Turn your back. This one is... Okay, kids, which one is going to float?
Are you done?
Which one is going to float? Why?
The one with oil is going to float? All right,
Let's see. Here we go.
Splish splash, I was taking it.
Oh,
it
so
sank.
what one was that with? Soap, right.
So that means this one's going to float? Whoa!
Whoa! That is awesome. Okay, kids, these wonderful kiddos made their own little sharks. They decorated them with Sharpies and things like that. And coming up, they're going to test. They don't know if it's oil or if it's soap. We'll have that experiment and a special interview with the San Antonio Zoo coming up. Oh, David! Welcome back, everyone, to Science with Sarah. We're at the San Antonio Zoo. These awesome students, the lionfish, they made their sharks, and now they're going to test if they have oil in them or soap. So let's get going.
All right, come on. All right, what do you think?
Right.
Oil or soap?
Oil.
Oil, you think? All right, toss her in there. Let's see what happens. Bam! Ooh, it's floating. So what does that mean?
Oil.
Means oil. All right, next. Come on. What do you think? Oil or water?
Oil.
Or soap?
Oil. Oil. Good
Oil.
job.
Okay, toss it in there. Oh, gentle. Oh, it floats. What's that mean?
Has oil.
Has oil in it. Man, you guys
Which one
are
was that?
smart. It's the summertime too.
Oil.
Here,
Good
you
job.
you take that back. What do you think?
I think it sinks and floats.
You think it's gonna sink and float? Well, it's soaked and then it floats. Whoa, look at that! Wow! All right, very good.
Okay, your turn. What do you think?
What do you think?
Oil or soap?
Oil.
Oil.
You think
All right, let's
soap?
see.
You think it's gonna sink? Oh, what happened?
Oh,
It floated, so
soap's
what
in
was
yours.
inside of
Well,
it?
one thing we know is your shark is
Oil,
clean
good job.
because it got soap in. Right? Sounds good.
All right.
Okay.
I think it's oil.
Oil.
Like
Okay, let's
a clean
try.
shark. What do you think?
So.
Soap.
Oh, were you right?
Oh, you were right. Good guess. It sank, right? Okay. All right, couple more. Let's go. Come on.
Oh,
do you
what
think?
happened?
Toss her in there. Go ahead.
Is that okay?
What do you think it's going to do? Sink or float?
Yeah. Good job. High
So what's that
five.
mean? It sank. What does that mean? Means it's got
Soap.
soap in it. Very good. All right, two more, real quick. Toss it in there.
Oh.
Oh!
Cool.
Floated. So what does that mean?
That means it has oil.
Very good.
Good job.
One more. Go ahead. Last one.
Oh,
What does it mean?
awesome.
Oil.
Good job.
Woo.
Was this experiment fun?
Smart kids.
Yeah, give yourselves a round of applause.
You guys are great.
Good job. Okay, well, coming up right now, we've got Kyle Perez. He's the director of public relations here at the zoo. Kyle,
me a
it
second,
is
Kyle.
hot. It's been, he's got to get that little floaty. It's been hot, but you guys have so many ways to keep everybody cool here at the zoo.
Yes, this might be the most exciting time to come to the zoo because we've introduced more elements than ever before. We have different shows every single hour, so whether we're doing something on the stage with live animal interactions, something you can't find anywhere else in San Antonio, or we're doing our Splash and Safari water party where our entire Great Lawn turns into a splash zone. So you're gonna get wet, there's performers, there's a DJ, there's all sorts of fun things happening where you're gonna have fun and you're gonna be cool no matter where you're at the zoo.
That's awesome. Honestly, even David splashing that water on me felt a little bit good. So we are so excited about this partnership with the San Antonio Zoo. The school year is just ahead, and we're going to be opening applications for Science with Sarah. Everybody, give yourselves a round of applause. Good job, guys. Way to go. You guys are awesome. Way to go. Okay, everybody wave to your mom and dad. Say hi. Say bye.
Bye.
One little girl is literally doing a round of applause.
I know.
Another has one of those portable fans around his neck, which is pretty cool.
That's awesome. And what you need right now.
Yeah, you guys stay cool out there.
Yeah, good job to all the I was going to say fifth graders. No, 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds. I mean, what a great group.
They look like they were having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
How can you not with David Sears and Sarah Spivey? Good
True,
times.
true.
So, yeah, if you do go to the zoo today, find some shade. There is shade there, and bring some water with you because it is going to be another one of those days. Speaking of water, let me show you Medina River. Not doing so great. And, you know, there is still some water in there, but in some spots, you see the water is pretty much gone away. And there's very little flow in some of these rivers. It's just the situation we're in. It will get better. It will, but there's no rain, at least this week. And I'm going to show you some of the stats for the Guadalupe River coming up here in just a bit. Here's the satellite picture. We've got clouds west of San Antonio right now. Hondo to Uvalde over towards Del Rio. Some overcast skies. Those clouds won't last very long, but they are having some effect on the temperatures. A little cooler as you head west of town. We're at 84 here in San Antonio right now, 86 in Gonzales with sunny skies there, and temperatures generally in the mid-80s. When you factor in the humidity, though, feels like it's in the low 90s. Gonzales, it is still not even 10 o'clock yet, feels like 97 there. It is going to be another one of those days. 3 o'clock, 101 feels like 105, 104 at 5 p.m. feels like 109. Even at 8 o'clock, 97 feels like 108. The heat sticks around for a while, so no rain, at least not in the next 7 days or so. And we'll look at the forecast. We'll look across the country to show you where some of that rain is right now. That's coming up here in just a few minutes, guys.
Thank you, Justin. Another check with TransGuide looking at the same situation there at Loop 410 at Babcock Road. It looks like they're getting ready to clear it, though. A minor crash. The lanes are open for the most part, but things are moving slowly because it's not completely clear.
Well, look at the frontage road, too.
Oh,
it's a
yeah.
mess. People see the backup and we're trying to get off. We understand also that this is blocking an exit ramp right there at eastbound 410 at Babcock. So although it's listed as a minor accident, it's caused some definite problems here in the last 15 or 20 minutes. Well, your morning headlines: measures to make child care affordable are being proposed. President Biden's proposal would make changes to the federal child care and development block grant program. Child care co-pays would be capped at no more than 7% of a family's income, and co-pays would be waived for families at or below 150% of the poverty level. The goal is to make it easier for families to apply for aid.
And if you like baked goods at McDonald's, you better enjoy them while they last. McDonald's is getting rid of the McCafe Bakery less than 3 years after its debut. So the bakery lineup had apple fritters, blueberry muffins, and cinnamon rolls. But the company says the lineup will be phased out beginning this month because the items are not selling very well. And you can hold on to some hope in becoming a millionaire. The next Powerball drawing is tonight. So since there was no winner after Monday's drawing, the grand prize is now around $725 million with a cash value of a little more than $366 million.
The NBA Summer League continues. The Spurs had a late game last night against the Wizards, which the Spurs won 96-85. Malachi Branham had a complete 180 from his performance in Sunday's game. He led the way with 29 points, 5 3-pointers for the Spurs. Game was very even on both sides through 3 quarters. Spurs held just a 1-point lead going into the final 10 minutes of the game. But that's when the Spurs hit the turbo button. They outscored the Wizards 30-20 in the final frame to seal that victory. Their next game Friday night against the Detroit Pistons in Vegas, 8 p.m. on ESPN.
We can handle that.
Yes, we can.
Last night's game was a little too late. It started close to 10 o'clock last night.
Yes, it was set for 9:30, and it didn't happen until right around 10.
Right. At least they won, though. Go Spurs, go.
Go Spurs, go. 9:36, 85 degrees. You're watching GMSA at 9.
As we head to break, here's a look at some of the activities going on at public libraries around the city. From 11 a.m. to noon at the Igo Branch Library, kids 5 to 12 can learn about predators and prey from the San Antonio Missions National Historical Park. And over at Atlanta Branch, the museum is coming to you. Kids can do some fun and interactive STEM activities that is also for ages 5 to 12. And from 11 a.m. to noon, and tickets are required for both events. So look out for all the events scheduled for today at the different public libraries around our city. Just head to the KSAT Kids section of our website at ksat.com.
Living, or better yet, surviving in 2023 without internet would be a huge challenge.
So Opportunity Home San Antonio, formerly the San Antonio Housing Authority, is working on a plan to get families on their properties free Wi-Fi.
But some people need a way to use it. As Max Massey shows us, the plan covers that too.
The public Wi-Fi is very important because I was able to apply for the RA position that I have because of the public Wi-Fi.
Yvonne Andrews and her son use the Opportunity Home public Wi-Fi. 2 of the more than 23,000 people using this to thrive.
It gave me more security. It was one less thing I had to stress about.
Lauren Dantzler is not only a resident of Opportunity Home San Antonio, she's also commissioner, using her voice to help her neighbors.
Not having to pay that extra bill it's very important. It's helping out a lot.
We're here at Lincoln Heights, one of the Opportunity Home San Antonio's big 3 locations where families are using this initiative in so many ways. We're talking about things like job applications, education, even medical bills.
Your telehealth, your medical portals that you have to get to where you get all your tests and your prescriptions and then everything you do on your pharmacy.
Joanna Alvarado, Director of Innovative Technology, tells us that after full connectivity for the residents here, the program's next step, teaching families how to best use the internet and keep them safe.
There's so many dangers and there's so many cybersecurity issues and threats.
And of course, they need devices.
And they don't have a device. So we try to still work on that and work with partners to be able to bring devices.
There is a device allocation strategy in place. Residents who complete literacy programs and earn a certificate, they can be awarded devices like laptops. Residents are earning and learning. There are big plans on the horizon, but already this program, it's making a big impact.
So it helped me and my son a lot.
Max Massey, KSAT 12 News.
Your passwords, your identity, and your money, all potential targets for thieves who are turning to text messages to find their next victim.
You could just be deleting that text, but as Patty Santos explains, there's more you can do to stop the scammers.
Many of us can relate. The scam texts that just won't stop.
I got one earlier today. It's just like a random text from like a random phone number.
The bogus texts appear to be from banks, delivery companies, even friends, all in an attempt to get money from an unsuspecting target.
It happened to my mom. She was texting them and she even called me and she was like, Samantha, who is this number? And she's like, do you know this number? Is this one of like your friends?
The biggest thing that I always like to tell people is RBFCU or any other trusted source will not reach out to you to get personal information. We have all of that.
Brian Mustertiger is the vice president of fraud management at Randolph Brooks Federal Credit Union. His team has tracked a 230% increase in phishing texts in the last 2 months.
Typically, it will mirror itself to look like it's coming from your financial institution.
The goal, he says, is to get victims to click the link, giving thieves a chance to steal credentials and passwords. So before you hit delete on that message, consider reporting it to your bank's fraud department.
So we have something that works in the background to take that link and then, find it and get it taken down so nobody else becomes a victim of that.
Patty Santos, KSAT 12 News.
Right, you can also report any unsolicited text seeking personal information to the Federal Trade Commission on its website, or even better, you can do it via text. You copy the message and you forward it to 7726 or spam, and this helps your wireless provider spot and block similar messages in the future. We've got more tips on our KSAT community page right now over at ksat.com.
And let's look out there with Zoo Cam. So earlier, David and Sarah, well, they're probably still there at the San Antonio Zoo. They weren't in this exhibit, the flamingo exhibit, but yeah, you could see it's already getting hot there. I would say, for people here in San Antonio, if you can, maybe the pass would be something good, so that way you can maybe go like early in the morning and then later, well, when there are later hours. So. It's not so hot.
Take a break. I wonder if flamingos can get sunburned, or if you could even tell if they were sunburned.
Or if it's a thing. Well, that's something else to look up.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to do some research during your weathercast. Okay.
We have found out so much in the last couple of weeks.
Flamingos get sunburned.
Or do something about it.
Okay.
We'll find out soon. Gotta love Google. Okay, we're going to cut right to the chase here when it comes to the rainfall forecast. I know that we need rain so desperately, but here is the forecast over the next 10 days. And notice where we are, it's just like a hole. There is nothing there. And it's just the way that ridge is built in, and it's keeping rain out of our forecast. There's going to be quite a bit of rain, I think, across parts of the Midwest, East Coast, just not here. When is El Nino going to kick in? When are we going to see our rain chances increase? It typically takes until the fall and winter for us to see the effects of El Nino. So in the meantime, yeah, this is what we're dealing with, dry conditions, and it really is starting to take a toll. Now, outdoor burn bans, these are decided by the counties themselves. We got to go county by county here. But Kerr just put one in, Comal, Kendall, burn bans there, Kinney, Maverick, Dimmitt, Goliad. Even to the north, we're starting to see some burn bans pop up. So nothing here in Bexar County yet, but it is dry, I'll tell you that. And as things get worse, as we go another couple of weeks here without rain, you may start to see more burn bans pop up. The Guadalupe River, where are we at there? The flow is still really bad here. We're at 4 cubic feet per second. There around Comfort, it's well below average. There is 0 stream flow near Spring Branch. There is still water there, as we've been saying, but not a lot of flow. On the other side of the dam, there is some stream flow there in New Braunfels, 70 cubic feet per second, but that is still well below average too. So the Guadalupe River, just one instance where, or one example where we're seeing the drought really take effect. But all the rivers and streams starting to feel it. 84 degrees right now. We've got a dew point of 74. Southerly winds at 10 miles per hour. The heat index is already up to 91. And mostly cloudy skies over San Antonio right now. You go west of town, you're going to find more clouds. You go east, you're going to find a lot more sun, and that's where temperatures are really starting to jump up. But underneath that cloud deck, 81 there in Hondo, it is closing in on 90 degrees there in Gonzales, 85 Victoria. And the problem with Gonzales is the dew point is way up too, so we're starting to see some pretty significant heat indices there. The KSAT 12-hour forecast, 99 at 2 o'clock. Our heat index around 104. When we hit our peak, 104, the heat index is 109. And we do have excessive heat warnings in effect today. And we'll see those temperatures stay warm right on into tonight. If we're lucky, we'll drop below 80 degrees by tomorrow morning. But there's no guarantee there. Across Texas, not much in the way of rain. There is some good rain across parts of northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas. You go north, there is some good rain moving through parts of Iowa and into Illinois. There's some severe thunderstorm watch boxes out ahead of that activity. But it all stays to our north. That ridge is directing everything up and around us. And there it is. Right now sitting over parts of far, far west Texas, and then as you get into New Mexico and Arizona. This thing does shift west a little bit by the weekend. Does it help us out? Not really, because as it moves west, it strengthens a little bit and it still has a good hold on our forecast and keeps things rather dry. And by next week, it decides to come back east and it will sit over Texas next week. So that means more dry weather and probably some hotter temperatures, if you can believe that. 103 Thursday, 103 Friday, 102 to 103, I think is pretty much going to be the norm as we go forward. And those heat index values are still going to be a problem even going into the weekend. So I know we've said it a million times this morning, but be careful, because this heat can get you quick.
Yes, it does. And it gets you tired too, I think.
Yes. Yeah, you kind of want to take a nap, inside with the fan on, but we'll get through it.
Yes, nothing conclusive about flamingos. Obviously, they don't have skin like we do. They're covered in feathers.
Feathers, right.
Yeah. And they manage heat pretty well, especially if they have access to water.
Clean water.
Clean
yes.
water.
There you go.
948, 85 degrees.
A new movie coming to theaters this weekend is all about the theater kids. When we come back, a look at the film about a rundown camp in upstate New York.
Okay, the accident is now gone at eastbound 410 at Babcock, but things are slow going still as that log jam starts to ease up, especially on the frontage road. We'll be back. Well, a rundown camp in upstate New York for kids is determined to make it to center stage. It's a mockumentary about theater kids, and it's hitting the big screen this weekend.
CNN's David Daniel has a look at the new movie.
What up, Adirondack? Listen up. Squad, gang, maybe zip it. Can we just get you guys to shit?
Oh, what a beautiful
night. Yo, that was dope.
Theater-obsessed kids and counselors take center stage in theater camp.
You guys are so talented, so unbelievable. This will break you. This will fully destroy you.
Congratulations on being the most talented kids at camp.
The subject matter came easily to its creators and stars.
I think a lot of people would be like, this isn't real, but then we've all lived. This is a real documentary of our lives.
Tear sticks are doping for actors. Do you want to be the Lance Armstrong of theater?
No.
Get off the stick.
Of course, eventually it all comes down to the kids.
It was just so satisfying to watch them just like run free and absolutely school us every day.
We only have 3 weeks to create a masterpiece. It's on you now, all on you.
The anticipation and the excitement and the pressure all in that moment feels so familiar to me, and just all of my high school musicals I used to do with Nick and my youth theater musicals I did with Molly, and just there's nothing like that anticipation and excitement for a show that's going to happen like maybe twice and then it goes away forever.
We're theater people. We know how to turn cardboard into gold.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
If you saw our show yesterday, we showed you a preview of the latest Mission Impossible movie in theaters right now. And this film definitely raises the bar on those incredible stunts.
Yes, for Dead Reckoning Part 1, that included a ride off a cliff into a base jump, a stunt the movie's director called the most dangerous thing they had ever attempted.
In the case of the motorcycle jump, I was just staring at the crosshairs on the screen and I was waiting to see blue. Blue was the color of his parachute. And once I saw blue, I was just making sure that it was a square. Because if it wasn't a square, it meant there was a malfunction and there was no coming back from that. So you're just waiting to see. All you're really thinking is, when do I see the blue square?
And like we mentioned, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 is in theaters right now. There are 2 other blockbusters coming out next week that many people are already buying tickets for.
Yay, Barbie and Oppenheimer. So that comes out next Friday. And according to AMC Theaters, they've already seen a 33% increase in the number of guests buying tickets to watch both movies. But it's still a Barbie's world because based on early tracking, Barbie is expected to outpace Oppenheimer in terms of inaugural ticket sales.
Now, the movies whose storylines could not be more different are being dubbed, as we started talking about yesterday, Barbenheimer.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're going to see Barbenheimer this weekend? Okay. And looking ahead to new movies coming out later this year, yesterday the first movie trailer for the new Willy Wonka movie was released. So take a look.
Vacation with Chevy Chase returns to theaters starting on Sunday for a limited release.
Wow, a lot of people will be watching
years.
that. I can't believe it went by so quick. Bye, guys.